Good morning, Eliot.
What up? How you guys doing?
Quite a bit, my man. So, Eliot, let's get right to it. When Dombrowski said what he said, and now looking at it, close to 4 months later, do you think it was unwise by Dombrowski or a risk worth taking? Where did you stand on that one? Then we'll get to what Bryce said.
I think it honestly might be one of the dumbest things a GM has said that I can remember. I'm sure you, as a noted author of Philly sports history, can think of another one, but I can't think of many in terms of just completely unnecessarily calling out your star player. Like, there was no upside to it. And I would say this, that if Bryce does come out and have a great year, I don't think that validates what Dombrowski says. I think the process of him doing it is so poor that even if it gets a good result, I don't think this is something other GMs should mimic, or we should think in the future, well, maybe if this guy's struggling, the GM should call out his best player.
Eliot, let me ask you a question. So now I'm going to take this to an Eagles issue. When AJ wasn't trying his hardest in the playoff game, were you one of those people that wanted Sirianni to not get on him? Because I like when an authority figure says to the player, dude, you got to pick it up. Got to pick it up. Now, maybe you live in this soft world of 2026, but I was born in the 70s, and I live in the world of, hey, player, pick it up. Talk to me, Eliot.
Well, I definitely live in the soft world of 2026. I don't think anyone at the station lives in a softer world than me. But I will say that there's a difference between calling out effort over, like, a period of time and saying maybe you'll never be great again. And I think that is really what made it so different than other head coaches or GMs that have been critical. Because there have certainly been head coaches or GMs that have been critical of players over the past 10 years. Like, that's not a rare occurrence. The rare occurrence is saying in a very public setting, this guy might never be the same again. And that's really what he said. So I thought the way he said it obviously was bad. I'll also say this, though. I think listening to Bryce down there in Clearwater, it's clear he blames Dombrowski for the fact that he had a bad year. Listen to what he said. The 4-hole hitter wasn't that good. Hopefully I get some better pitches this year. Talked about how the Dodgers went out and spent a bunch of money. So I bet you privately, Bryce thinks the whole reason he is struggling, the whole reason this happened, is because Dombrowski has not put a good hitter behind him.
Eliot, is this going to be iron outable in the very near future? We do want this team to have a chance to win a lot of games this year. Is this going to undermine that?
So I think, as with anything in sports, winning will cure it, right? If they come out, they start well, Bryce plays well. It's not like Dombrowski and Bryce spend a lot of time around each other. I guess, I don't cover the Phillies as obviously as close as I do the Eagles, but it's not like Jalen and Howie are in meetings together throughout the day. So I do think that, this is something that if they play well, it'll be fine. But what I think it does is it raises the stakes if they don't play well. If they start 1-3. Bryce, is struggling. The 4-hole hitter, if Bohm is not playing well. What it does is it just raises the tension to a really high level where if things start to crack, they'll crack quickly. So, I think you can fix it, but it's just going to come down to really, can this team win to mask it over?
Could we go over what's changed with the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff over the last few days, Eliot? It's just been lot of flux.
Yeah, well, we got an answer, or seemingly got an answer to who the quarterback coach is going to be. Obviously, Parks Frazier seems like he's going to get that job. The team has not confirmed it yet, but according to the report, it seems like it's going to be him. And, it really is a tough hire, in my opinion. Like, Parks Frazier very well might be a good coach, but kind of like with a lot of the coaches they've hired, you look at the resume, and the resume is not that impressive. I do think that there is maybe some value to continuity, like he was there last year. But to be fair, they went the continuity route last year, and that clearly did not work out. So, you're looking at the staff now. Parks Frazier, the quarterback coach. Chris Cooper is going to be the offensive line coach. I know we've talked about him. Obviously
why is this happening
by the Vikings?
Eliot? Why, in your estimation, does it feel like these coaches we're hiring don't have the kind of resume that I'd like to see? Like a guy who's been there, done that, had success, had experience. Why can't we get coaches with experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to what we talked about with the offensive coordinator job in general. And I do think with these lower down jobs, it should be easier to attract people. I know they talked to Connor Sanger from the Arizona Cardinals. He was one of the up-and-coming rising coaches. He stayed with the Cardinals, so maybe they weren't super impressed with him. But I agree with you. Like, you would think that a team, that of this stature would be able to attract better coaches, but it seems like they're going down a pretty specific path of young coaches. And almost every coach they've hired this offseason has been under 40 years old, and the majority of them are under 35 years old. So looks like they're going with the young staff. I think that like the Parks-Frazier hire also does speak to the power Sirianni still has in that offense and with that coaching staff. Like, he is a clear Sirianni guy. But yeah, I agree that ultimately what this coaching staff tells me is they're just going to be as good as Sirianni and Jalen are again. Like, that's it. Like, how you feel about the offense next year comes down to how you feel about Nick and Jalen.
Is Aaron Moorhead still the wide receivers coach?
Yeah, so the two coaches they're retaining, at least with the prominent jobs, are Aaron Moorhead and Jamal Singleton.
Look, I'm cool with Jamal Singleton and all that, but Aaron Moorhead, through the years, like, he has been the only wide receivers coach that Nick Sirianni, these teams have employed. And it's just year after year, it seemed, we were having the same issues. Now, we haven't noticed these issues in recent years because they just gave up on trying to do the pick plays because we just couldn't do them legally.
Yeah, well, you also don't see a ton of development from young players. But to be fair, I mean, these are not great third, fourth, and fifth receivers typically. I mean, Eliot, it's just what
Cooper,
it is.
If you want to stretch, I thought Darius Cooper was a good developmental player last year. But you're right. Like, A.J. Brown and Devontae, like, if you want to give him credit for Devontae, I guess you could. He was a draft pick that came here. But obviously, a top 10 pick that won a Heisman. It's tough to really say that. But yeah, he's had top-end players that have not really needed developed.
Eliot, let's get to this Jurgens situation. You're obviously totally right. This thing is primarily going to come down to Jalen and Nick and that stuff. But a big part of this are the offensive linemen who can be great when healthy. Are they going to be healthy? I want to play some audio for you of Cam Jurgens talking about he's going to overseas?
So he went to Colombia. He posted this on his Instagram, and he went to a place because I guess part of this, not all of it is allowed in the United States, some of it. So let him talk at a place he went to in Colombia.
So we got 70 million stem cells here about to go in. I wrote Go Birds. Let's go. Excited to get healthy and get ready for this next season. So that's why I'm down here.
All right, so Eliot, double-edged sword. On one hand, I certainly applaud him, of course, for trying what he can to be as healthy as possible. On the other hand, it's concerning that sometimes non-traditional methods are needed. Do you think the Eagles are ever going to get a really great Cam Jurgens again?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you where, it's a good sign that he is working to get healthy. I think anytime you need to leave the country to fix your problem, it's probably not a best indication.
This has been going on,
where
though.
things are,
I know.
For a long time.
I mean, I remember Kobe went to Germany, I think it was.
Everyone's been doing this since I was playing.
Didn't Joel do it?
Yeah, Joel. I mean,
Dubai
Joel
or something like that?
Yeah, he went to Qatar, didn't he?
Qatar, that's it, Qatar.
And that worked out well. But, I mean, I do think that, to your point, it's Nick, it's Jalen, it's the offensive line. We've made so much about scheme this offseason, and I'm not completely diminishing the role of scheme. Obviously, it matters. But the reason they struggled last year, I think, number one, was they had a bad offensive line. And so you look forward and go, okay, well, can they get better play from their offensive line? And this time last year, Cam Jurgens was recovering from just taking part in a Super Bowl run and a Super Bowl parade. Now he's had almost a month off to relax, to get going, and hopefully be better. So, yeah, I mean, if they can get a better offensive line next year, it'll make Sean Mannion look like a better offensive coordinator. It'll make Aaron Moorhead look like a better wide receiver coach. It'll make Parks-Frazier look like a better quarterback coach. It all comes down to that. And in terms of will they, I don't even think they know. I don't know how anybody could know because you're just guessing on whether Landon, Cam, Lane, and Mailata will be able to stay healthy. And, we can be optimistic and say maybe, but I don't think there's any real basis in any guess. You just have to hope that they will be.
All right, Eliot, final thing here, my man. We're 3 weeks from NFL free agency. Can you and I know this is going to change based on restructures and all this nonsense that happens. Can you give us a general sense of where they sit from a salary cap standpoint whether they're primed to be an aggressive team or hamstrung based on a lot of big contracts and not much cap space?
So I believe that when all is said and done, they'll have about $30 million in salary cap space. But I would say that, even if that ends up being 25 or 23 or whatever, depending on what they do with certain players, the way to look at it is not salary cap space. The way to look at it is cash, right? And they're going to have to put out a lot of cash this offseason. If they sign Jalen Carter, if they sign Jordan Davis, if they were to give Jalen a new deal, if they were to give AJ a new deal, right? If maybe them and AJ decide to do one more year together and they restructure his deal, if they sign Moro Ojomo. So I just think ultimately where a lot of their money is going to go is to their own players. Now, they'll go out and they'll sign guys, but if you remember last year, they signed, I think, 11 free agents or something absurd like that, and each of them got around $2 million. So I would expect maybe one big signing. I think tight end is a position to really look at. All their receivers, all their tight ends are free agents, but the cash is the bigger thing, not the cap space. They can always do what they want. It's about the cash that they spend.
All right, Eliot, good report, pal. We'll talk to you later in the week. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Eliot.
Sounds good. Talk to you guys.
Eliot Shorr-Parks.